Hello, my name is Sidney Arthur, and I'm sure one thing that I have in common with you, whoever you are, is that I have been a leadie instead of a leader. Whether that's been in the workplace, at a university, a family. I'm sure we have all been in the position where we have not been the matriarch or the employer or the president, or we've just been there. We've just been an employee or a member or a child or whatever. Hopefully those employers or those leaders have been empowering and helpful and have made us feel like we can better contribute to the workplace. Hopefully they have led us in a way that makes us feel like we are leaving that organization or that place better than we have came. However, I'm sure another thing we can relate on is that we have all been under the leadership of someone that we think could have led a little bit better, whether that was in their communication or leadership tactics or empowerment tactics, whatever. So for my article today, I'm going to be discussing the effect of empowering leadership on intrinsic motivation, the role of psychological empowerment as a mediator. This was written by, and I'm going to try my hardest with the name, Kadir Sarol. It was published in the Journal of Leadership Organizations in 2020. I picked this article because it quite literally really directly connects with this course as a whole. We have touched on empowerment in the workplace and how to be a good leader many times, I've noticed. So this just seemed like a really relevant article to discuss, especially because this article specifically explores how leaders can use empowerment to strengthen their employees. So Kadir Sarol, the author, in 2020 conducted a study in Indonesia. So he focused on government employees and asked them an important question: do leaders who give employees more trust, freedom, and support actually make them more motivated? I'm sure we can all guess that the findings were unanimous, and it was a yes from all aspects. Empowering leaders have such a strong positive effect on intrinsic motivation, which intrinsic motivation is being motivated by who we are internally and not necessarily by paid time off or extra benefits or a raise. But intrinsic motivation is being better because you truly want to be better. So the research found that employers who genuinely care for their employees have had, a much better work-life balance and environment. The research also found that psychological empowerment plays a key role in this process. So in other words, when leaders empower their employees, workers feel more capable, more in control, and that their work has true meaning, that they have true meaning. That feeling of empowerment in turn boosts the internal drive to do well naturally. So overall, the article concludes that leaders who focus on empowerment rather than control are more successful at building motivated, engaged employees, therefore making the business or the company more successful. There are a couple issues with the article. It was just conducted in Indonesia and just with government employees, so it would be kind of broad to say that it goes 100% for everyone everywhere across the board, regardless of who you are, where you are, what you do. But we can probably all gather just from our experience in this study that it probably does apply to most people. So also the research was only based on surveys. So you can't fully prove cause and effect, kind of more just build a conclusion, build a summary. So basically, to wrap things up and to conclude, the article showed that empowering leadership doesn't just make employees good at their jobs or feel good or feel productive, but it actually increases their confidence and intrinsic motivation. So basically, just when leaders give people trust, responsibility, and support, employees feel more competent, more valued, and that drives them to perform at a higher level. So next time you are a leader, just make sure that you are empowering your employees rather than controlling them, and giving them grace and trust and comfort. And I think that in turn you will see a better company, better employees. You will probably be less stressed, and overall work-life balance and work-life environment will just be a lot more peaceful and healthy. Thank you.